Hi everybody, welcome to School of Scarlett. Today I have another message for you. So it's kind of early in the morning here. The sun has just come up and I'm having my morning coffee. This is my favorite coffee mug. It's got big fat cats on it. And something about this mug is so comforting. So I love to drink coffee out of this one. I have a fat cat of my own named Sasha. And that's Penny back there. And then that's Lulu. And my horses are walking around somewhere. They may make an appearance. I know one of my horses loves to be on camera, so she may come around. But anyhow, I was getting ready to, get my morning started and get ready to go do the things I'm about to do. And a message came through. And it was important for this message to come through before tomorrow, before 8/8. So I want to go ahead and share it here with you today, now, before I get my day started and the day just gets away from me. So I want to share a little bit about this message. What was coming in was like this yearning for love, or a feeling that there's lack of love. And so I'm going to get into that here. Let me have a sip of my coffee. I'm going to put this down for a moment. And so what I was sensing around love was kind of like this door. So I was getting this vision of this door with like all of these latches on it. And so like you could think like deadbolts or whatever on them. And it was like love was knocking on the outside of the door, and there was just all these deadbolts. And one said like hurt, one said like cheater, one said like liar. So there was just all these deadbolts going down the sides of the door, and love is knocking on the other side, but there's these locks. And so when I felt into that image, what I could feel was that love is there. Love is knocking at your door. You might be someone that's yearning for love, whether that's romantic love, whether that's having a family, whether that's having friends, just connections in general, but you're yearning for connection and love, but you have all of these locks. Keep hearing like airplanes flying by. I don't know if y'all hear them. There's a private airplane or airport nearby. So guess they really fly a lot in the morning, because I've been hearing a lot of them this morning, like just one after another, or something's up. But anyway, you can hear it. But what I was seeing with this lock was that one would be unlocked, but there would still be a whole line or row of other locks that were there. So we may want to have love come into our life. We may really truly want that in our heart, but we have all of these locks still locked. So the question is, are you ready to let love in? Are you open to love? So one thing that kind of sticks with me was like months ago or something, I was talking to my family, or my dad, I think, and we were talking about, the statistics of divorce, and especially like the first marriage, the second marriage, the third marriage. So we were seeing that the second marriage and the third marriages had really, really high levels of divorce. Like, for the first marriage, it could have been like 50% divorce rate, 51, 52%. And then for the second marriage, it was like 76% divorce rate. And for the third marriage, it was like 80-something% divorce rate. And so that was interesting, but it kind of made a little bit of sense. And so, but anyhow, I think my dad looked into it a little bit further, and he looked to see how many people actually get remarried and have a second marriage. And the percent rate was very low, like 20 to 30% of people that had a first marriage ever get married again after a divorce. So I know that with working with people, because I worked with people for many, many years, prior to YouTube and all this, I worked with families. I worked with couples and a lot of people that were struggling in their family dynamics. And I know that once they got divorced, a lot of them kind of proclaimed that they would never get married again. That they might have a boyfriend, they might have a girlfriend, they might allow, a date here and there, but they would never get married again. And so a lot of people block, love out of their life after a bad experience. And, what happens is that we're truly creating a lot of those deadbolts, those locks on our doors, where we're not letting love in. And truly our heart is saying, you're ready. I'm open. I'm ready for love. I want love. I want connection. I want companionship. I want someone to share my life with, to do fun things with. I want these things. But the body, the ego, the mind is still saying, nope, I'm going to lock, and never. And people will actually say these things. And then when you get them into a softer state of being, when we're talking, especially now that I work more on a spiritual arena and, talking with people more about their heart centers, there's that yearning for love. We all have it. But the ego, the mind, is still blocking it out. So the question really is, are you open to love? Are you truly open to love? Have you opened those locks? And I'm not saying that you have to go into therapy, that you have to fix all of these things and unlock everything one by one. You can simply be open to it. It sounds reckless, it sounds wild, it sounds risky, but love is risky. Love is something that's going to take you to make a risk, or to take a leap of faith, really, is what really is going on. So what I'm seeing suddenly is like a shell. A big shell that you put up to your ear and you listen to, like a big seashell, and you hear the ocean, right? So you can pick up this big seashell and hear the ocean. And what I'm seeing is you can truly hear it. But then you take the seashell off your ear and you look at the seashell and you look all around inside and there's nothing there. It's just a shell. So what I'm seeing with that, when I kind of tune into that, is that a lot of us are wanting love, are open to it in our heart, and we can feel it, we can sense it, we can imagine it in the seashell, and it feels so real. But when we take it off and we really look at our lives, there's no love there. There's no one else there. So the other thing that I found interesting was I was watching the new King of the Hill TV show that came on Hulu. And I really liked watching that show, in the past and stuff like that. And, I'm from Texas, so I relate to a lot of that stuff. And anyhow, I was watching the show, and they kind of really show how things have really changed since the last time they had made the show. So all of the different advances and stuff. And one of the things that they showed was how everybody has a Ring camera now. And so a Ring camera, on your front door that records who comes to your door. And so what I thought about the Ring camera is they were showing that in the show is, no one answers the door anymore. They look at the Ring camera, and if they don't like or know who's there, they just don't answer it. And then the next thing that they showed in that show was how they would record what was on the Ring camera, and they would upload it to let's say a community group on Facebook or online or something like that, and say, oh, there's a strange person walking around knocking on doors. And so there's a sense of disconnection with that now. It's we can't even go see our neighbors. We're so disconnected from our neighbors. And I know when I lived in the city, I didn't know my neighbors. I even lived in apartments and I didn't know my neighbors. But it's a little bit different in the country. People in the country don't have Ring cameras, actually. A lot of them don't. Everybody I know doesn't. And so we connect a lot more. But anyhow, where there is more technology, where there is more of these things, there's this disconnection happening where it doesn't feel safe to open your door. It doesn't feel safe to talk to your neighbor. It doesn't feel safe to talk to a stranger. The other thing that I've noticed, and I don't know where I had heard it, maybe something I watched online, that dating nowadays is a whole lot harder because you have to use these apps. And when I was dating, I never used an app, so I'm not very familiar with it. But what this person was describing is you have to swipe, and you're just constantly judging people based on their looks and accomplishments. You're not really getting to know the person. It's all about kind of this superficial outer appearance of whatever the app shows you. And she was mentioning that she's actually been on hundreds of dates, of these app dates, but in real life, but none of them work out. And my question really is why? Why are they not working out? So I know before the apps, myself included and people that I knew, they dated a handful of people. And out of those handful of people, they found someone to get married with. They found someone to spend their life with. They found someone that they connected with. I know I just recently went to a friend's baby shower that I grew up with, and there's still that connection. And so I went to the baby shower, and there were some people there from high school and things like that. And so where are those connections now? Why are people not able to maintain connections? And why is there this yearning for love, but when we look around us, there is nothing there? So it's like the shell. You hear the ocean, it's like, oh yeah, love. You know, I'm watching all these spiritual videos, I'm, you know, doing all my meditations, my journaling, my quotes, all of this stuff, and I love love. I talk about love, but then I take it off and there's nothing there. So what you're being called to do today before 8/8 is to really call in love and be open to it. There's a new, and I'm really sensing this because I'm going in a different direction now with some of the things that I do, not on this channel, but some of the other ventures that I do. I'm really speaking now about a new template for love, for sex, for all of these things, because, you know, there seems to be such a big disconnection where most of the time people are thinking that these things are harming them, and they really are in a lot of cases. But there's a new template for it. It doesn't have to be that way. It needs to be expressed in a different way, where love is amplified, where love is truly seen, where you're truly felt loved and seen and supported as the foundations of being with someone. So today's message really was about calling in love for all of those people that are watching this and feel lonely, feel disconnected, feel like they are looking for friendships or like-minded people. It's time to really open yourselves. Go ahead and unlock those deadbolts. It doesn't have to take more than a few seconds to open yourself and say, that was that, but today is a brand new moment. Today is born new. There is nothing from the old that I have to carry into today. I don't have to pull those memories here every time I speak to someone, every time the doorbell rings, every time I go on a date. I don't have to bring all of that junk here in this moment. This moment is brand new. It's a gift. That's why it's a gift. The present is a gift because you have everything here and now to have like a clean slate, to do what you want, to have a new love, to have a new friendship, to meet someone new, to do something new. You don't have to bring the old into here. So leave that behind. And so today, unlock all those locks, leave the past in the past, and begin to imagine what it is that you want in your life now. What do you want in your life now? Allow yourself to call that in. And especially the energies around this time are extremely high. I can sense energies. So for me, I can feel that, but I don't even need to feel that to know that, because in the past, this month has always brought me in lots of abundance. And I'm not talking just money. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about support. I'm talking about, you know, things coming in from different places that I didn't expect. So be open to receiving. Are you open to receiving in this moment? So that is really what this message is about. It's really about love and being open to receiving. So everything that you want is here and now. We just got to be open to it. So I hope that this message found you well. If you like this message, if you got something from it and you think someone else will, please share this message with others. If you are new here, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, especially if you are interested in things around love and connection. With the creator series that I've been putting out, we've talked about like calling in a new job, homes, cars, all of that material stuff. We're going to be moving into calling in love, passion, excitement, creativity. So you are a creator of your own life, your own universe, everything. And so I'm going to be moving into talking about those things to come. So if you like this topic that I've talked about here today, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. And hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I put out these videos. If you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for supporting my channel, for being here for this message today. And I encourage you to check to see if you are still subscribed and you still have that notification bell turned on. A lot of people have let me know that they haven't been getting notified of videos coming out. So from time to time, that notification bell, it seems to somehow get turned off. So go ahead and turn it back on if you have clicked it before and you want it back on. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all, and I will catch you on our next message.